son was critically ill. He needed $500,000 for surgery. I spent 3 days scraping together every cent I could. I managed $300,000. When I found out my parents had just received $5 million from their property demolition settlement, I called them immediately. What I got was a torrent of abuse. We brought you into this world so you'd take care of us in our old age, not so you could bleed us dry. You're a father yourself now, and you still come crawling to us for money? How do you even have the nerve? The second you hear we got a settlement, suddenly your son just happens to need surgery? You think we can't see through your little scheme? Don't you dare call yourself our son. We can't afford that kind of embarrassment. In the end, my 5-year-old boy died on a hospital bed because the surgery came too late, because the money never came. Half a month later, my mother called. Cecil Dickerson, your father twisted his ankle. Even your cousin Derek made a special trip to come see him. You're his son. Why haven't you come home? Do you have no filial duty at all? My voice was flat, hollow. Sorry, ma'am. You've got the wrong number. I hung up and blocked her. 2 days later, an unfamiliar number lit up my screen. It was my aunt, Patrice Dickerson. Cecil, you're a grown man. Why are you throwing a tantrum with your mother? First you disown her, then you block her number. Do you have any idea that your parents haven't been able to sleep for 2 days because of you? Every word dripped with reproach. To me, it was almost laughable. They disowned me first. Patrice sighed. Come on, Cecil. They were angry. People say things they don't mean. You shouldn't have taken it to heart. She paused, and her tone softened. Is this still about them not lending you the $200,000 for your son's treatment? The memory hit before I could stop it. My boy's face, pale as paper, in those final moments. My eyes burned. My throat clenched so tight it ached. This isn't about money anymore. Patrice was quiet for 2 seconds. Then she pressed on. Try not to blame your parents. They had their reasons. Your uncle passed away young. Your parents raised Derek. He's getting married now, and the bride's family demanded a house, paid in full, plus a car worth at least $1 million and $880,000 in betrothal gifts. By the time you add it all up, that $5 million is practically gone. Something twisted in my chest. A sharp, ugly stab in a heart I thought had already gone numb. When I got married, my in-laws had only asked for $88,000 in betrothal money. My parents refused outright. They said when they got married, nobody asked for a cent, and they accused my mother-in-law of selling her daughter. I scraped that money together myself, skipped meals, worked 3-4 jobs a day until I had enough. Later, when my son was old enough for preschool, he needed to be in the right school district, which meant we needed a new apartment. It just so happened that our family home had received a demolition notice around the same time. I went to my parents and asked if they could use a small portion of the settlement to help with a down payment. They refused. Absolutely refused. They said that house was their life, the home they'd lived in for decades. They would never let it be torn down. My wife's last shred of hope died that day. She left a signed divorce agreement on the table, took nothing, and disappeared in the middle of the night. She left me and our son behind without a word. Now Derek was getting married, and my parents hadn't hesitated for a second. They agreed to the demolition overnight, handed over every dollar for his house, his car, his exorbitant betrothal gifts. How absurd. They were never against betrothal money. They were never too sentimental about the old house to let it go. They just didn't think I was worth it. Aunt Patrice, since mom and dad gave everything to Derek, then Derek can take care of them when they're old. As far as they're concerned, they don't have a son. Patrice let out a long, heavy sigh. When she spoke again, her voice was tinged with helplessness. Cecil, stop being difficult. Today's your cousin Derek Hollis's wedding. It's a big occasion. You should at least come. We're family after all. Making a scene like this, how does that look? I shook my head. I'm not going. I'm never coming back. The moment the words left my mouth, my father's furious voice erupted from the other end of the line.